Hi, and welcome to this month's Thoughts on Leadership. This month I've chosen Managing Upwards as our subject because I often get asked, or this comment often gets made to me, in fact, whenever I'm doing workshops or seminars in some place. Somebody will come up and say, Paul, you know, what you're saying here is absolutely great. I really like what you're saying. My problem is, my boss won't let me implement it. My boss won't let me put things into practice. And from my position, it's very disheartening, if you like, because you give people information, you give them practical stuff that they can use, and then to find the person above them is not going to allow them to put into effect. So I thought this month I would dwell on this subject of, well, how do you manage your boss? How do you lead upwards? I mean, we talk a lot about being able to lead our people and manage things, but what do we do about leading further up? And I believe that there is. We all face that time, no matter what level you're at. We all face that time when we have to manage or lead upwards. So let's look at what some of these issues are. What is it that people struggle with in terms of managing and leading upwards? Well, I think that if you want to lead or manage your boss, the first thing you have to do is appreciate some of the issues that they face. What is it that they're concerned about? What is it that they have a problem with? What is it that that they're going through? Now, let's be honest. In some cases, it can just simply be that their bosses don't want to let go. And hey, you and I are both, culprits in that area as well. So with certain things that we like to hold on to, there's certain things that we're comfortable to hold on to, there's certain things that we like in our control. And we're good at those things. And so I don't want to let them go. I don't want to give them over to you. So that is, if you like, an issue in its own right. Realizing that this is something that they like and don't want to let go requires possibly a different approach with them, where maybe it's a matter of reassuring them that you are the capable person to take this on, or maybe it's about making them even aware that, hey, they're not letting go, and you can't perform at your best. So if they're incapable of letting go, don't be judgmental about it. Probably look at yourself. You'll probably find that there's things that you won't let go of. Also remember that we are creatures of habit. So as that, we get into the flow of doing something, and we just do it without even realizing we're doing it. And maybe your boss is in that position. Maybe your boss is in the position where they've just been doing this for so long that they think it's still their job and don't realize that this isn't their job anymore. This is something they should be giving away to you or giving away to others to do. So, bearing in mind those two things, let's move on to what can you do about it. If you're going to take ownership for something, then reassurance is needed. Think about it from your boss's perspective, if you like. I'm going to give you responsibility for this. How do I know that you will take it as seriously as I take it? How do I know that you will handle it with the care and attention that I would handle it with? And knowing that you haven't got the experience and the background that I have in it, how badly are you going to muck it up or make a mess of it before you finally get it right? And will you come to me if you've got a problem? Are you somebody who feels confident to come to me and tell me that you have a problem with it? Will you alert me early enough, or will you try and rummage through it yourself and then make the situation worse? So all of these fears, whether consciously or not, are running through the boss's mind with regard to you. And your job is to understand it from their point of view and give them the reassurance that they're looking for. Give them that feeling that, yes, you can be trusted here. You're somebody that can take this on board and actually do something with it. So think about what reassurances you need to put in place. Think about how you need to win their confidence. If you want to get to the level then where you're starting to win that, and that you want to challenge some of the way that they're currently doing things, then that also requires a certain amount of thinking. Because, okay, let's just say you've got to the stage when you've won their confidence in you. They do believe that you're capable. They do believe that you will handle it. They do believe that you will come to them if there's an issue and a problem and not leave it too late. They do believe that you're not going to be somebody who's going to embarrass them, because that's one of the greatest concerns, that you'll go off and do something and then you make a mess of it, and they're at the end of the day accountable still. So that's always an issue for them. But let's say you've gone past all that and you've proved yourself in those areas. Then maybe you want to get to the relationship with them where you want to be able to feel free to challenge them. In other words, it's now no longer taking what they've done and the way they've done it and doing it as well as they did it. But you now want to move into a new area, which is where you want to say, well, actually, I don't want to do it that way anymore. I want to do it, I think there's a different way of doing this. I think there's a new approach that we can take to this. And that also requires an approach of managing upwards. Because if you go to them and say, by the way, that way that you've taught me to do that, well, that's rubbish. I think it should be done this way. What you're actually saying is that the way they've done it for years wasn't good enough. And this is my point. It may have been. It may have been good enough at that time. And so you coming along and saying it isn't good enough is brushing aside all that they've learnt and done over the years to get to where they've got to now. So what they're looking for is a reassurance that you respect the way that it has been done, the way they did it, the way they taught you to do it, and that you respect all of that. But now you need to be trusted to be able to take it to the next level on your own. So that challenging process has to come from a position of respect. So the approach there is to go in and say, look, this is the way we've always done it, and that's been absolutely great. It's been, it's worked for us for years. But I'm finding that times have changed. I've been noticing this, I've been noticing that, and now I think we need to be able to consider trying something different. And of course, what do you think about that? You've had to make some changes in your life and do things differently. How do you think I should handle this? So by involving them gives them that further reassurance that even if we are going to change the way things are done and you're going to do it differently to the way that they've traditionally thought of it being done, that you're still going to go back to them. You're still going to keep them informed. You're still going to tell them what's going on. You're still not going to leave them in an embarrassing position where they don't know or where things could go dreadfully wrong. So leading upwards requires this approach of creating a respect, understanding from their point of view, creating respect, building trust, and working with the person above them to be able to respond and do things as though they were doing it themselves. Often remember that your boss may be measured differently than the way you're measured. Your boss, he or she may have their own issues that they're trying to deal with. And so in some cases, some of the things that you feel you should have more control over are things that they it's too much to give up completely on those things. Sometimes it's just the habits. I had a gentleman the other day say to me that our team does so much more when the directors can't make the meeting. We make decisions. Whereas when the directors of the meetings, things have to be discussed to the nth degree, and we go round and round in circles. And when I analysed that with this individual, it was about the whole relationship there was. The directors were people who just got into the habit of talking about things and talking about things to the nth degree and not being prepared to make decisions. When they were on their own, the people who were actively on the day-to-day involved, they were able to make decisions. So there's habits involved there, there's fear involved there, there's relationship issues that are in there. And leading upwards means you have to come from a position, number one, of respecting and understanding and appreciating, and then from an area of building integrity, building trust, and being able to present yourself in a way that's somebody that you can be trusted. So, here's some questions for this month. How well do you understand the pressures your boss has and where his pressures or her pressures are coming from? Do you genuinely understand their position? What is important to them? What do they want to see you capable of before they can trust you? How do you need to prove yourself to them? And I would even go so far as to say, why don't you ask them that question? What do I need to do to prove myself to you? Because maybe only when you finally ask that question do you bring it into their consciousness and a decision can be made, or the whole thing can be discussed. And then when you've got integrity with them, what do you do every day to build that integrity with them? What do you know what the best approach is for challenging your boss? Do you know how to challenge him or her when you need to? And can you challenge while still showing respect for the way things that have been done in the past? So I hope those few questions there and the points that I've made have helped you think through, how do you manage upwards? How do you lead your boss? How do you become more effective in your relationship with your boss? I hope you have a really great month. Lots been going on, and I hope really good things are happening in your life as well. And please feel free, as always, if you've got any questions or comments, to email me. Look forward to seeing you next month. Bye now.